Okay, hello, and welcome to this video. We're going to talk about the latest shenanigans in New Jersey, particularly in Ocean County. Sorry, I got to use the voice because some of the things that are going on in that state are absolutely ridiculous. As you know, the Pine Barrens there. If you want to go to this place here, this is a look at Jake's Branch Park here. Sorry, you can't go there. And now there's word coming out that people are getting charged and arrested for hiking. We have to talk about that, obviously. And it's just a complete abuse of power in Ocean County. But I have to tell you what's going on, obviously, because the media, the rest of the mainstream media, isn't really talking about it. As you know, Ocean County closed all their parks as well as the state of New Jersey. So most parks, almost all the parks in the state of New Jersey are closed. I'm sorry, I got to use the voice, all right, because New Jersey is an absolutely pathetic state, and it has well deserved its reputation. This lady here, you remember her? She's the freeholder here that decided to close the parks. Well, now what she's doing is this. This was shared on social media. This is a picture of a rail trail. Now, this is a rail trail. This isn't in the middle of the woods, but you'll see two Ocean County Sheriff's Department police officers here patrolling the trail and making sure people don't go on the trail. So you have one on horseback, and then you have another one in a ATV. It's just funny. They can ride ATVs, even though ATVs technically aren't allowed in the woods. It's okay for them to ride. So this is what's going on in a lot of the Ocean County parks. They really want to keep you out of the parks. This is a complete abuse of power. I really wish Trump would step in and say you can't do this, but we all know Trump is a big hypocrite. He's supposed to defend our freedom, and he's not doing that. I know if I was the president, I'd be saying, look, you either take the cops out of the parks, or I'm going to cut off all your federal funding. That's what I would do. But what can I say? This is Ocean County, New Jersey, and I believe this was taken in Lacey Township. So there you go. Two police. It's nuts. It's nuts. But it gets worse than this, my friends. It gets worse than this. Let me show you where this was taken, because I know that spot. Actually, I know that spot very well. Let me just close these images out here. The spot is in Lacey Township, which is over here, down here. Lacey Township, and I believe it's not very far from the shop right there. There's a shop right there. There's a couple of stores there. Your shop right. So it's right, I believe, in this area right here. So this is where they were patrolling, right around here on this path right here, as you can see. Let me just get this out of the way. So they don't want you going into this area right here, which is ridiculous. So you can't walk on this trail. It's okay to walk on the roads with the cars, but you can't walk on this trail. So I'll show you where they were, because I know that spot. I know that exact spot, actually. Yeah, right here. Actually, this was before the trail was put in. I think, no, maybe it was put in here. Yeah, it was put in. But this is the spot they were patrolling right here. So, nope, sorry, you can't walk here, otherwise you're going to get fined or arrested. This is Ocean County, New Jersey, folks. And some of my viewers in Ocean County, you need to start rising up and fighting this kind of thing, all right? Because this is getting out of control. And we're going to talk about things that are going to be a little controversial in this video, because there's a serious abuse of power going on in many areas, particularly in New Jersey, of course. So it gets worse. Let me show you the latest. This is from the Shore News Network. Two charged for walking and taking pictures of a beach in Seaside Park. Yes, they were charged with walking and taking pictures of a beach. This is New Jersey. So if you aren't taking Assemblyman Gregory P. McGunkin's no bennies mandate to heart, you better think twice, because you can actually find yourself on the unlucky end of a very expensive ticket. So these two guys here from New Brunswick were charged on Sunday, April 12th by the Seaside Park Police with defiant trespass and violating emergency orders for walking and taking pictures at the Brighton Avenue beach entrance, which they knew was closed. They were two juveniles. And this is another one here. This guy was sitting on a lifeguard stand on a bench reading a book. If you go in the parks and the beaches, some of the police departments, they have no problems giving you tickets, which is ridiculous. Hey, this is getting ridiculous here. Don't you see how ridiculous this is getting? Don't you see how ridiculous it's getting? All right, I'm sorry. We have to start standing up to the police state that we are going through right now. We have to start standing up. They can't throw us all in jail. They can't give us bogus tickets for just taking pictures and going on a hike. This is what's going on in New Jersey. I know it's not here. I know it's not happening here. But imagine for the people in New Jersey. I don't know how you deal with living in that hellhole. I really don't know how you deal with it. All right, I really don't know how the hell you deal with it. So, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. So, other news in New Jersey, we have this going on here. This was they tried to overturn Governor Murphy's closure of the state parks, but I know this is all. I don't know why the screen is all messed up like this, but it says they were fighting Murphy to reopen the state parks, but they weren't going against Ocean County, the Ocean County Freeholder, Virginia Haines, who has the cops patrol her parks. So Ocean County is ridiculous, all right? And meanwhile, what is going on in Ocean County? All right, so this is the other one here. There's another one in here. Yeah, New Jersey Democrats back Murphy to keep the state parks closed. So in New Jersey, it's ridiculous, and I mean, the fight to keep New Jersey state parks open during the COVID-19 epidemic has gone straight down the party line. New Jersey Assembly Democrats defeated Republicans 52-27, signaling the weakness of the New Jersey Republican Party to challenge even the simplest of actions by Governor Murphy and the state Democratic, should I say Communist Party. The issue of keeping New Jersey's large state parks open was to promote healthy activity for residents who could be stuck inside their homes for another month or two. That prospect alone could lead to even more unforeseen health consequences for New Jerseyans. We recognize the incredibly difficult challenges you face every day as our beloved state battles the COVID-19 crisis. We have and remain supportive of you and your administration as we go through this trying time together, said Assemblyman Republican Jay Weber. Your decision to close our state and county parks, however, is wrong for our public health and our state residents. In Ocean County, despite royally supporting Ocean County Freeholder Virginia Haines, though, this is what makes these people hypocrites. So, just because the Democrats are screwed up, the Republicans are also screwed up too, because they supported Virginia Haines' decision to close county parks, and they voted for the measure on the state level. So they basically flip-flopped. And a group that represents New Jersey's hunters questions the governor's decision to block hunting from large parks and reserves across the state. Hunting is typically an individual activity that requires a vast amount of level of social distancing. The New Jersey Outdoor Alliance on Tuesday released a statement calling on the legislature to show political courage in the ongoing fight to reopen state parks and forests after the governor's order last week closing public spaces. Monday's party line vote by the Assembly was a joke, a bad one. That fails to understand the needs of the people in this state, and instead, she said, NJOA spokesman Cody McLaughlin, it is easy to kowtow to a governor in this crisis, much harder to show the courage to buck him when he is wrong. Instead, our elected officials have chosen to buck the people and the facts of the situation, and it is sad. Our system of government was founded on the principle of checks and balances, and now is the time to both check and balance a governor who is dead wrong on the park closure issue. And as we said before, and we will continue to say, we have guidelines for social distancing, and we, in good faith, have committed to those guidelines. Shame on him. They need to reopen these parks in New Jersey and Ocean County, as far as I'm concerned. And as far as people taking a walk on the beach and doing this is a complete abuse of power right here. Those tickets will get tossed out, and all these people here that were charged. And dare I say, it looks like most of these people may not have been white, so there might even be some racism in here. I hope they go and sue the Village of Seaside Park for harassment. And this is an unconstitutional order. They actually have no right to close the beach. You have a right to walk on the beach. That is actually your right within a certain amount of the water line. So this is illegal right here, what those cops did. And those cops who did this, they should be ashamed of themselves. Ashamed of themselves. They violated the Constitution. All right. So other issues going on in Ocean County. There's apparently different rules for some folks wearing suits in Lakewood because they keep having these parties, and yes, they were charged for violating emergency officers. They got a slap on the wrist for having these parties. Our parking lot was completely filled. So this is a huge. It says, and I'm sorry, I'm going to read it to you. I know the whole article doesn't show, but I'm going to read it to you. It says, Yossi, they're basically Hasidic. Zvi Bleo, 29, the manager of this toy store, because there were more than 50 people waiting outside their store to buy toys, which is non-essential, and they were creating a crowd. So it says here, Lakewood toy store owner and manager were charged on Monday after more than 50 people waited outside to buy toys. So they violated the emergency orders for operating their toy store. It said 15 more people were outside the store, and an employee was taking orders at the door. The parking lot was completely filled, and there were 10 cars in the fire lane. Customers were not social distancing, and no one was wearing masks. So this is what's going on in Lakewood right now. And somehow this keeps happening. But it's okay to go and throw people, give people tickets for hiking in the woods and not bothering anyone. But they keep doing this in Lakewood. We all know why, because the Hasids somehow the Hasidics are connected to the government in New Jersey and Ocean County, and so they get a slap on the wrist while if you go hiking in the woods, you get the book thrown at you. And then we got this last story from this horrible governor in New Jersey. He says June reopen possible. So now he's saying June or July, you know what I mean, which is way too long. I'm sorry, but we got to start reopening things in May, all right, on a very slow basis. But my gosh, you know, this is getting out of hand, all right. You know, I understand the need to do this, but the economy can't take this. People can't take this emotionally and financially. We have to start reopening things in May, whether you like it or not, Mr. Murphy. All right. This last story that I'm going to talk about here, I agree with Governor Cuomo. Now, again, he's done a very good job on this. He's issuing an executive order to require New Yorkers to wear masks. I think this should have been done a while ago, but of course the CDC was slow to really say, you know, you should wear a mask. But I think that the masks should be required in public places. And he said, I'll read this to you. He said, Mr. Cuomo said that he is requiring that New Yorkers will wear a mask when social distancing cannot be maintained. He said, I am issuing an executive order today that people must wear a mask or face covering in public in situations when social distancing is not possible. He said, right now there's not any you know, penalty for not wearing it, but they may have to be in the future. You know, you should wear the mask. Everybody should wear the mask. I'm wearing the mask when I get on the train. I'm wearing the mask when I go into any place where there's people. I have the mask on, and so should you. If you can't find a mask, you can make your own or a face covering. It really helps cutting down on the spread of airborne disease. And this is, you know, I've been wearing masks for a long time. So what did I tell you? And then we have this. There was something up here too. Oh yeah, I'm glad the president cut funding for the WHO. Yes, the World Health Organization. This guy right here. I can't pronounce his name. It's a very hard name to pronounce. So it's Tedhar M. I can't pronounce it, but whatever. This guy here, he's in China's pocket. He didn't do enough in the beginning. He covered it up and downplayed how bad this was, so China wouldn't lose face. And China is really the enemy of the world right now at this point. And I think that it's time that the world needs to condemn China, and we need to actually remove the Communist Party from China once and for all. And even if it means possibly going to war to do that, it may be something we may have to do because they are a threat to the whole world right now. They are a threat to the whole world. You see what's going on in the whole world because of China. You know, and I'm sorry, but Communist China needs to fall. It needs to fall. And as far as this guy at the World Health Organization, he needs to be removed, and I think he should be charged. I think he should be charged with manslaughter for hiding this whole thing. You know, he's a third world. He's third world. This guy, all right, third world. We used to have good leadership at the WHO, and then China just took over, and now it's a third world organization. That's what you get. All right. So now we're all suffering with this, and this is taking a tremendous toll on me. I have meetings with my therapist now through the Zoom site, so it's like a teleconference or whatever. But it's a very lonely world out there, and this all could have been avoided. I blame two people for this mess. Two people. All right, this guy right here, Tedros Adhanom. I may not be pronouncing it right, and I blame Donald J. Trump. All right, those are the two people I blame. Adhanom for not acting sooner on the seriousness of this because he didn't want to make China look bad because China controls WHO. Second, Trump for not sealing off the borders back in January. We should have sealed off all the borders. If we sealed off all the borders at the end of January, we would be living a nice, fairly normal life right now. All right? But instead, he didn't want to do that because he didn't want to upset Wall Street. And so now we're in this mess right now. So that's what's going on. But, the fact, what's happening in Ocean County, New Jersey is very upsetting. Yes, I don't live there. I don't plan on going there. But I feel bad for those people who have, and I still worry that could happen here. And how would I deal with that? Risking having to break the law just to go for a hike. We have to draw the line somewhere. And when it comes to getting back to our lives, we have to start doing it in May, not June. The economy cannot take this. I think that we should go and we should do this in a very slow, step-by-step way. I think in the month of May, we should go back to a 20% workforce in a lot of the offices and places, all right? I think that there's maybe some of the malls should be reopened. Some more of the stores should be reopened. But with with social distancing measures in place, you have to wear a mask to go in. Masks should be required. I see that. I think that should go at least the mask requirement to the end of May, if not past that. All right. The restaurants, I think they should be reopened with limited capacity. But financially, people can't afford this. We already can't afford it, and it's only going to go worse. It's only going to put more people out of work. It's only going to result in more businesses closing. JCPenney, I think, has filed for bankruptcy today. So, there has to be a fine line between protecting. There has to be a compromise between doing what's right to protect people's health and doing what's right for the economy, and we have to balance that. So that's been my opinion. But my God, if you live in Ocean County, New Jersey, you have my utmost sympathy for both the aggressive and police state you guys live in there. And I think after this, I think a lot of people will be moving out of New Jersey, and I could see New Jersey becoming a real wasteland after this is all said and done. Nobody's going to want to live there because of this. It's a shame, but you can't hike in the woods without worrying about it. But you know what I'm going to tell you? If you really need to clear your mind and you need to go for a hike, go for that hike. Don't let the police stop you. These tickets will be tossed out. They are completely worthless. They are not worth the paper they are written on. So that's going to be it for this video. Take care. Thank you for watching, and be well.